How's it going, guys? What a load of carp. Welcome to another session on the pond. This is winter session number 2. The first session was unsuccessful, uneventful, except from the stuff that happened when I was setting up. So I had a quiet night, had to be away early in the morning for work. That was on the 26th of October. So we've had a bit of an absence. I was planning on doing every Thursday night. However, the van decided the glow plugs were going to give up on me, and I was trying to just sort it out myself. In the end, I had to give up and get some help and get it done. That did take 3 weeks off my fishing. So we are now sitting at the 17th of November. Bitterly cold night last night. It was alright until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then the cloud cleared and it got really cold. Woke up this morning with a frost in the tent. So yeah, the winter's well and truly here now. Just a few things to update on, really. I was using the CC Moore Equinox, I think, on the last session, and it's where I had the Recapture 2, which with barbs on, I believe. That same session I was running short of bait. I only had a little bit left, and the guy from Froome Angling Centre, he very kindly brought me down some nutcracker from Urban Bait, so that was good. Brought me some down, sorted me out for the night, and yeah, I was getting quite a lot of liners off of it when I was using it that night. I didn't catch one, but I was getting a lot of liners, so it encouraged me to get another bag. So yeah, I used that up, and you can get through a kilo very quickly, as you know. So I brought another bag from my local tackle shop, and I opened it 3 days after buying it. Something wasn't right about it. The boilies were doughy. I mean, you could crush them between your finger without any pressure, and really dark brown in colour. And if you've seen the Urban Baits nutcracker, you know it's not a dark bait, it's a lighter bait. So there was something out of that. I was unsure about it, so I got in contact with Urban Bait on the Facebook page. They were very good. They come back to me the next morning. They gave me the direct line to the office. I rang through to the office. They asked me to send through some pictures of the bait, and I thought I would have to wait a while until I got a response. But I had a phone call back within about 20 minutes, half an hour. 2 seconds.
Nice one, mate. I'll see you again. Good luck with you.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thank you. Did you just have the one, mate?
Yeah, I had a couple of bumps, but I had that one straight away.
Yeah.
I dropped that, and then I had a couple of bumps after that same place, and then he took it. So I reckon it was the same fish, but then I didn't have nothing after that.
Oh, that's right. At least you had one out, mate. Made that effort worth it.
There's somebody in that tree over there. I cast across to come back under the tree and got in caught in some limey lure. Went out the line, God, I was thinking, weights not coming out of fucking water. Yeah. I managed to get my lure back, and I got hold of one of the bit of line, pulled it. Something was coming out, and I see something red. I must have been another lure, and it would just give up.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, take care, all right?
How are you? All right? Yeah, you all right, mate? Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to have a quick pause there. Some gentleman come over and had a chat. Was telling me about the pike he had before he left, and then someone else turned up, and they were having a conversation behind the bivvies. It was a bit hard to carry on recording, but that's fine. No worries at all. I was saying about the nutcracker from Urban Bait. Yeah, so got in contact with them on their Facebook page. Got a response the next morning. They gave me the direct line number to give them through in the offices. I rang through to the office. I spoke to a lady, and she said, could I send some pictures across on email so they can do some investigation, and they'd get back to me in due course. Well, due course I was expecting to be, you know, a couple of weeks, but no, really good. 20 minutes, half an hour, if that. I had Terry Dempsey on the phone. He spoke to me and he apologised about the bait. He said he's aware of the issue. It's something they experienced before in Austria when the bait was left in direct sunlight. So he put his point across that he felt that maybe the bait had been left close to a window or in direct sunlight in the shop, and that's why it started to turn. So it's not their fault at all. They can't do nothing about that if it's displayed near sunlight in a shop, which it was, to be fair, so that does explain it. Yeah, he was brilliant. He apologised. he didn't need to. It wasn't his fault. I just was ringing really for advice to see if that's what the boilies should be like, because I've only been my second batch. He offered to get me another bag out in the post, so that was really good for the inconvenience. I went into the tackle shop, took the bag back in. They exchanged the bag, so that was good, and that means I could have some bait while I was fishing now. They were happy to do that, so hats off to them as well. And then the next morning, after taking the bait back to the shop, I knew that Urban were going to be sending me some more anyway, but what I wasn't expecting was, you can't really see it, it's bad light, but Terry Dempsey very kindly ensured that I was sorted out good and proper, right, yeah? And he sent me a 5 key bag. So that's pucker, that is. I really appreciated that. That's what I call top-notch customer service, and getting it on a 24-hour delivery as well, getting a response to my complaint within 20 minutes, half an hour. Hats off to him. I was really impressed with the service, and it was nice to speak to Terry Dempsey as well. That was the bonus. I made the shop aware that I'd already been in contact with Urban Bait, and they were still happy to exchange the bag, so that's good. So that's brought us on to winter session number 2. And last night was quite uneventful, to be fair. Like I said, I left work at 3 PM in the afternoon, worked for my dinner breaks and my tea breaks so I could get out a little bit early, and went home, and only to discover that the 5k of Nutcracker had been delivered on the 24-hour delivery, so that was pucker. That means I got plenty of bait for the session, and got over as soon as I could. It was spitting with rain, it wasn't very nice. First order was to get the bivvy up so I can keep everything dry. Once the biv was up, the rods went out. One went out on the CC Moore Equinox on my favourite spot, with a scattering of chops and crumb, and a little bit else, something else I added in was some maggots as well, just to try and get a feeding response from the roach. I thought maybe it might help. Don't know if it would or not, but it's just trial and error and all that. The other 2 were out on the Nutcracker, same approach, chops and crumb with some maggots in there. But yeah, I had bleeps on all 3 rods, but they were only single bleeps, so probably liners or maybe something hitting the bobbins if it's passed underneath, because they are hanging quite low. I try and remember what time it was now. It's probably about 1:30. The cloud cleared. It was all right before that. It was, you know, it was. I wouldn't say it was cold, but it was all right. But as soon as that cloud cleared, it got chilly, really chilly. But my my Nash Z-Bed SS come into its own, kept me nice and warm throughout the night, and I woke up with a lovely frozen bivvy. There was a frost on the floor, so yeah, winter's properly here now. Another thing which I thought was strange as well, you can tell the fish have changed their moods a little bit. I was free offering some maggots in the water down there, normally where I see a couple of big perch, and there's loads of roach down there, but the maggots were just going down through the water columns and they weren't even interested in them, so that was a bit strange to see, but it is winter, I suppose they are slowing down. Yeah, so anyway, back to it. Yeah, saying I got through the night, woke up with the frost, frozen bivvy, didn't want to get out my fart sack, so I stayed into about 10:30. And then I decided I better get up and try and find these fish, so I had to walk around the lake a couple of times. Unfortunately didn't see anything, so I've come back, I've held my rods out to about, it must have been 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon, brought them in and rebaited the spots and put them back out again. Sorry, I've rebaited and put them back out again, put new bait on the spots, so fingers crossed tonight is a bit more productive. The rod which is to the left going under the tree, that has already had a few bleeps on it as well, so, and they were definitely liners, so that's promising. That is looking really good. So fingers crossed. I got to make this quick, guys, because the battery's going to die on the phone. I'll charge it up and do a bit more later, but yeah, it's looking promising. Hopefully it's not as cold as it was last night, but if it is, it is. I've got enough stuff to keep me warm. Night 2 approaches, one more left after tonight, 3-night session. Hopefully let's get this winter carp out the pond. Anyway guys, speak to you later, take it easy. There we go guys, I finally got the fire going. It took a lot of effort, finding as much dry foliage as possible. I've managed to get the base bright red, like charcoal hot, and I've just left it to do its thing, and then it's finally kicked into life. So I'm just going to keep putting the wood on now and hopefully keep it going. Paka! Just about to do a film guys, and I think we're in. 2 secs. So guys, I was going to update you about this morning and last night, but as soon as I pressed the record button, the middle rod started beeping. I had about 6 or 7 beeps in a row, but it wasn't anything like, it didn't tear off or anything like that, just little bleeps. And it didn't take no line off the reel either, so maybe it was just a liner. Maybe something's picked it up and moved it, I don't know. That was a bit strange. I was expecting that to tear off then, and that is on my spot I like as well. But never mind, it wasn't to be. I just have to sit here patiently again and wait. It's just coming up to 5 to 11 in the morning. Got 1 night left. I've not had any fish yet, unfortunately. Not much has been happening either. I've been sat in my van most of the morning. 1, because I've got to keep my phones on charge and my pad on charge so I can watch the football later. But 2, to keep warm. There's a little bit cold wind out there. And 3, just to stretch my legs a little bit. You know, it's confined to the bivvy all the time. It's nice just to get out, have wander around, and then get in the van, warm up and that, and just watch the water without being cold. So anyway, just check the weather app. We've had a change in wind today, so we've now got a southwesterly wind, which is good. There's a bit of ripple on the water as well. The only downside is we are at 1020 on the pressure, so it's still classified as high pressure at the moment, which isn't good. Ideally, you want a westerly or a southwesterly wind with a low pressure. Low pressure is normally under about 1000, so that's what you need to look for. But I got one of them in my favour at the moment, but not the other. So with the pressure being high, they're probably in the upper layers. But I haven't got my Zig kit with me, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna have to stick on the bottom, just see it out. Forecast for rain all afternoon today. We've had a little bit of drizzle this morning, and I don't mind the rain as long as I stay dry and warm. But yeah, we are forecast to rain all afternoon, going into the early evening to about 6-7 o'clock. So just got to make sure I stay dry, and then we'll see what the night brings. I'm going to put the rods back out again later on. I'll bring him in probably about 1 o'clock, I expect. Change the baits over, put a new better bait out there, and yeah, hopefully we'll have one out. But it's been hard going so far. Not seeing anything to go at really. I think I had that one show just by my feet, you know, on the first day I was here, but it wasn't. It was just back out the water and just swimming off. That's all I've seen. I seen one potentially come up by the no fishing sign right at the top of the lake, but I kind of caught it at a glimpse, and I'm not sure if it was a bird or not going down on something and then coming back up. But by the time it come back up, it was in the weed line. I didn't see it, so I'm a bit unsure on that one. Wasn't enough to make me want to move anyways, put it that way. I've got a 4th rod out at the moment, and yes, before you ask the question, I have got 2 rod licenses, which allows me to fish 4 rods, and this is a council-owned lake, so there are no rod restrictions on here, so I can use 4 rods if I want. I've got a yellow pop-up on. It's under the opposite side of the tree from where I am at the moment. I've just got to keep my eye on that. Made a bit of a rookie error. I brought a 4th alarm from the tackle shop on Thursday. I think it's called the S5 Nash, I think it is. Might be wrong. I think it's just a cheap 20 quid one just to see me through the few nights I was here. But yeah, I said rookie error. Didn't get a battery for it, did I? So got to keep my eyes peeled on that rod. But apart from that, nothing else is really happening. Yesterday evening, I had a friend come over, managed to get the fire going, as you've seen in the video. Had a chat, got some bait prepped, made some more chops and some more crumb, boxed it all up, ready for later on. But apart from that, nothing else has really happened. It's all quiet. So I'm just hoping that that middle rod's going to have some action on it now, but it doesn't seem like anything's going to develop from those few bleeps. Just an update, guys. Nothing else happened with the middle rod. That was a bit of a shame. So that was uneventful in the end. However, about 10 minutes ago, the left-hand rod underneath the tree went. Well, I wouldn't say it went screaming off because it didn't take any line, but I was getting lots of up and down movement on the bobbin and lots of beeps. But unfortunately, when I got to it, it was on its way back down, so nothing there, I'm afraid. So what I thought I'd do, now I've struck into it, I'm being 20 to 1 now, I thought I might as well just bring all the rods in, rebait them and put them back out again. So that's what I've just done. Just something I'm going to quickly show you, which I've been adding into my mix. On this occasion, I've seen it online, I thought, oh, it makes sense. I don't know if it'd work or not, so I thought I'd give it a shot. You've got to be, you know, willing to try things and open to new ideas and that. So yeah, I'll just spin this around. What I've been mixing in with my crumb is Kid Sweets Fizz Whiz. So yeah, I've been mixing that in there because when you put it in the mix and it goes down through all the water columns, of course, it pops. It makes lots of noise. So they were saying on the internet that that is supposed to attract fish because they're curious and they want to know what the sounds are. So yeah, give it a shot, see what happens. Anyway, guys, that was an eventful 10 minutes. I thought we was going to get one out then, especially when that one from the tree went, but it wasn't to be. But two decent indications on the alarms in the last few hours, more than I've had in the whole few days I've been here. So I'm going to take that as a good sign. So fingers crossed, let's see if we can get one out. Come on, we can do it. Morning, guys. We're on the last morning of a 3-night session on the pond, and it was a cold one last night, similar to what happened on the first night. The cloud cleared and the temperature dropped, but we ain't got frost though, but it did feel cold last night. It couldn't have been as cold as the other time, but it was definitely cold. Nothing to report really. I got my rods out early last night, before dark. Well, way before dark, to be fair, in the afternoon. I wanted to give them a long soak, but about 12 o'clock last night I had some indication on the alarms. Now I don't know if it was the mallards which were chasing each other about. They were doing it all day yesterday, being a right pain in the ass. And there was also a suspect moorhen right down to my right of where the camera is now, in the bush. And I'm not sure if they've just gone through my line or not, and caused the indication. Because the baits had been on there for over 24 hours. Something just crossing my mind that maybe if it was a fish and has picked it up because they're on the bait screws, that maybe it's picked it up and dropped it, and the bait might have come off where it's now soft. Lots of things was going through my head really. I wasn't confident that the bait was out there correctly, or if it even was there at all anymore after I had that indication on that rod. So I thought about it for a while and I decided to bring the rods in, put some fresh bait out, and unfortunately I think I killed it because there was nothing after that. The rods, all three, have remained completely dead. Not even a single bleep, nothing. So it's a shame, but it was a real clear night last night and temperature got quite low, so maybe it turned the carp off a little bit. I hadn't really been on the last 3 days, but yeah, it was a shame. I had a bit of a nightmare as well. It took me about an hour to get them all sorted and get them out again, which was a bit of a pain. Didn't get back into my bivvy, it just gone 1 o'clock to have a drink. I retrieved all 3 rods and put one out, fine, no problem at all. Second one went out, went to set it, tighten up the line, to send the water, send the line through the water columns, to sink the line basically, and it just didn't feel right. It had a bit too much resistance, so I gave it a little bit of a pull, and yeah, I was in a snag, so that's fantastic. And that didn't lose any tackle, but of course it meant that I had to redo it and send it back out again, and set my traps one more time, and then that time I was happy. I come a little bit further back than where I normally do it, just because I thought, well, we're fishing on that spot now for almost 3 nights, and I thought, well, not really had much activity on it, so maybe just drop the bait back a couple of foot, because I know it's clear there, just to see if it's on the edge of the feed, they might pick it off, but no, it hasn't materialised, nothing's happened. So that was the second one out and okay, and then the third one went to put out, brought it in, and I noticed there was some crinkling in the line. It's brand new Fox Torque line as well. It's the first time I've used it on this session, and it's twisted already, and I was like, really? It's the first time I've had it and it's twisted. So I had to strip a little bit of line out, probably about 10 foot of line, partly down to my I'll start that again, sorry, partly user error as well, where I do take it out on the bait boat, it's going to cause it to twist, but it had twist a bit too much and it wasn't recoverable, so I had to strip that little bit of line out and set the rod up again and put that one out. So yeah, and then there were a few disturbances in the night as well. Being a Saturday night, you get people come down, so you say you stay awake with one eye open and all that. So yeah, it wasn't until about 3, probably 4 o'clock that I managed to get some sleep and go off, get some shut eye. But we're here now, so I think it's about 20 to 8 in the morning. Lovely skies. All the mist has gone off the water already. Hoping that it's going to be sunny this morning to dry out the bivvy, because it's wet, damp. And still hope for, ooh, what was that? Oh, it's a bird diving on my bait, brilliant. That's just what I wanted to see. But yeah, anyway guys, as I said, it's not been much happening. I haven't really seen anything. Got a few hours left. Just going to stay long enough for my kit to dry out, or get as dry as it can anyway, and then I'm going to go home, have myself a bath and chill for my Sunday afternoon. Anyway guys, until next time, hopefully you might see me before we go, but if not, we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share the video, and yeah, again, see you next time. Laters.